Oh, that's a great message. Now you have 50 subscriptions and you're not using any of it because now that you have 50, you don't even know how they connect. You don't know how they do. So one's collecting data, this collecting data, but how do they talk and how do I benefit from that? It's like people don't want to log into stuff, man. Figure all
Yeah.
this stuff out. They just want to know the answers, you know, and focus on what they're good at. Like that's what we want to do. I want to do what I'm great at. And that's
Yeah.
people, or that's team building, or that's this. Live there, you know?
Right.
Let that other stuff go.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it's so powerful in knowing who, to also let it go to as well, because like you want to make sure that whoever you're letting go does have that holistic kind of output or perspective to know like what's happening. And I think so many times one of my favorite books is the E-Myth because it talks a lot around like what
Mhm.
entrepreneurship actually is. But I almost wonder too, like as we talked about, like with the data, technology, and all those being such a big component of business in the world we live in, that could probably be part of the new E-Myth where we didn't realize that we had that data that we can pull from. That's now part of the job of you understanding this. And I think those are some of the things that when you are, passionate about what you do, you don't realize that's a part of it. And doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it, but it does mean that you probably want to make sure that you at least have that strategic partnership so that you are aware of it and you are benefiting from it as
100%. Even if you think of a couple different situations, like you could think about maybe it's a store, right? Like, and weather impacts their business. Okay, if you know the temperature in advance because of the forecast, and you typically just scale down because you're like, oh, it's going to be slow. Why not think of when this trigger happens, then I need to put this in, I need to boost my online. Or I need to run this type of campaign. This day is, it doesn't have to be that, but I just mean in general, think of how your business is ran, not just process wise, but what impacts your business. It could be weather, it could be, holidays, it could be whatever it is. You can start to understand trend because a lot of times when people get a great customer, they want the great customer again, but you're not paying attention to the trends of all the great customers to find out where the similarities are to figure out like what is this real makeup, this persona, right? Like instead of dreaming your persona and going through these workshops and all that, it's like the data is telling you that these people live like this, they are in these places, and they are like you have access to data that you, even if you don't collect it, we can scrape it. You get what I mean? Even if you don't want to scrape it, like it's just available. And even when people thinking about like Chat GPT and all that, like, okay, that's answering a question, but there's process that can go behind understanding your data and reports that could be quick against your data, not just asking